Good morning. We want to welcome you this morning to this meeting of the Drainage District Board of Directors for today, February the 16th, 2016. President our Commissioner Correa, Precinct 1, Commissioner Cantu, Precinct 2, and myself, we have a quorum. Please join us in prayer.
Thank you, Judge. Commissioner Flores, welcome.
And Joe.
Good morning.
Morning, sir.
Flores, Precinct 3.
Let us pray. Father God, we give you thanks for another great day that you've given us. Thank you for the priest that you bring to our county, Lord. Thank you for the opportunity that you give us to come serve today, Lord. I ask that you continue to provide wisdom and discernment to this board that you have elected, Lord. Guide them as they make decisions that affect us all. Continue to guide myself as I lead the district and all the individuals that are in an office or in leadership positions, Lord. Continue to bless them, provide them wisdom as to make all the decisions for us, Lord. I ask this in your Son, Jesus' name. Amen.
Amen.
Open forum? We don't have anybody open forum, sir.
All right, then let's move on to item 4. Any concerns with the consent agenda?
No, sir. No
Move for
concerns.
approval.
Second.
Those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries.
Item 5, discussion on Dow County Drainage District Number 1 drainage projects, maintenance and operations. Just want to briefly highlight one of the projects that we're working on. We have many projects that we're doing on the bond issuance right now. One of the other projects that we're working outside the bond issuance, and it's a general land office project. It's ongoing project in Precinct 1 right now. We call it the East Lateral project. It's about 2.6 miles under construction right now from 107 north to our outfall north of Monte Cristo. It's about approximately 512,000 cubic yards that we're going to be excavating out of that whole area. Yeah, the ditch right away, it's about 200 feet, about 160 feet of top ditch width, which is a substantial amount of volume of water that system is going to carry northward, about 10 to 12 feet deep. So, and that first section that's under construction, as I mentioned, starts from 107 north to north of Monte Cristo. We're getting ready to mobilize our crews to move south to 107 and start the improvements of that ditch going all the way south to 13.5, which is our Mercedes lateral. Currently, right now, part of that project is being excavated. The excavation is being done by the Drainage District, and the crossings across 107, Monte Cristo, and road crossings was bid out by Urban County, and is currently under construction. That cost for those crossings alone is $4.9 million. So that project's well underway, and we anticipate finishing it middle of this year, but it will also be continuing, as I mentioned, the extension of the further section south of it to provide relief to that eastern portion of that whole area. And next week I'll talk about other projects that we have in other precincts as well, just kind of give a briefing on some of the projects that we have under construction and where the status are per precinct. But that's one of the major projects that in the east side right now that has been under construction. Just wanted to brief the court on that and the public. So I don't have anything else right now.
All right, sir. Next item.
Item 6, requesting exemption for competitive bidding requirements under Texas Local Government Code, Section 262.024A4 for professional services.
Move for approval.
Second.
Those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries.
Item B, requesting approval for the district to negotiate a professional appraisal and/or appraisal review services contract with Leonel Garza Jr. and Associates LLC from the district's pre-approved pool of qualified appraisers for the provision of professional appraisal services and/or appraisal review services for Hidalgo County Drainage District Number 1 on an as-needed basis, subject to House Bill 1295. Just take that for the record.
Move for approval.
Second.
Those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries.
Item C, requesting extension for competitive bidding requirement.
Since you brought up that House Bill 1295.
Yes, sir.
I know that it was passed at the last legislature, and it's supposed to have been effective on January 1 of this year.
Yes, sir.
And I have asked our attorney, Mr. Train, to look into it and to come back and report to us as to what does House Bill 1295 and its companion House Bill 23, what is it that they require us as elected officials to do as it relates to our involvement with vendors, and what is it that it requires the vendors to do as it involves their relationship with the elected officials. And Steve?
Well, Judge, 1295 went into effect January 1st of this year, and what it requires is a vendor to fill out a form that's put, well, first to go to the Texas Ethics Commission, print the form at the Texas Ethics Commission, and then sign it, notarize it, and then present it to the district. And I think the district's already had information about this.
Yes, sir.
And what they do is they show who has the controlling interest in the company, and disclose information about the vendor, and that's basically the effect of 1295. Who has a controlling interest and who has the authority on behalf of the vendor to, in effect, make decisions by the vendor. And
But once we know who the vendor, the principal in that company is, what is it that we're required to look at, and what form are we required to complete?
well, we're not on 1295. We're not required to complete anything. That's just the vendor.
What about the conflict of interest?
That's House Bill 23.
All right, can you get into
Yes,
23 then?
Okay.
Just on 1295, we are obligated, once we receive the notarized 1295, we get into the website, we acknowledge that we received it, it is given a date, and the vendor is obligated to do this for any contract that comes before Commissioner's Court. So multiple contracts means there is a project number that they will be filing every time. For the Drainage District, for the CSA, for any of our agencies, for Hidalgo County, for,
Will you be submitting all these requests or all these forms along with the packet so we can look at them?
yes, sir, they're attached
in advance
today.
of our meeting?
They're attached today.
Okay.
Now, the ones that aren't attached is because you will see that we have sent them, and we attached the letter, which all these agencies already have. For example, today, when he said subject to,
Well, right now we have one later coming that we're aware. This is basically getting ready to hire them.
Correct.
Before,
then this is the form. They've returned it, notarized. Now, we acknowledge receipt. That goes back to the Texas Ethics Commission. They post those.
The state filing.
And what we're doing now in purchasing, and I have instructed all the agencies, I've sent them emails, very detailed. They will then attach it as part of the contract.
Do you have any copies of any of these forms so we can look at them while you're talking?
I have
Right
one
here.
on the agenda right now coming later for our auditing services, but yes, that's the one.
Okay.
And then, Judge, what happens is the Texas Ethics Commission will have, that the public can go to, they can go to the website, and they can look up any governmental entity and have a whole list of the 1295s that were filed by the governmental entity. And on top of that, the governmental entity has a responsibility, the statute uses the word records administrator, that the governmental entity has to keep those on file with the governmental entity's records administrator. And I believe we're using the county clerk as our records administrator.
Correct, that's where they're sent to the county
So there's
clerk.
two places to
That
find
they
the
go
complete
to.
form.
We need to be very familiar with it because a failure to comply with it can result in a criminal act,
Under HB 23.
Under 23.
Under HB 23.
not under this 1295 then.
Auditor's office just asked a question. I don't know if this is the appropriate time, but auditor's saying that they're in their cursory review of some of these, the vendor is saying that there are no interested parties. I can't control what a vendor puts on the form.
We can't control the governmental entity. It's up, 1295 is solely the responsibility of the vendor.
Okay.
So what the vendor puts on that form is what the vendor is in effect affirming when he signs the form that he gets back from the Ethics Commission.
What is it that we as elected officials are going to be required to look at and look for?
In 1295, we're not required to look at anything. It's just solely the vendor's
And
information.
23?
23 is different.
So in other words, they're
You had
relying on their
spoken to-
paperwork. It's not
That's
our
their
fault.
fault. That's their
Ms.
fault.
Josephine.
Sure. Judge, Commissioners, there were some additional changes under House Bill 23 that affect the disclosure requirements under the local government code, which is a different provision.
That's a different bill.
That's a different bill, a different provision. And that's the requirement that where you submit a conflict of interest disclosure, a questionnaire, there's some changes to that questionnaire that you used to complete. as well as the vendor. So when a vendor submits their bid or as part of their procurement packet, there's a different form that they have to complete now as well, and there's some additional requirements there.
And I was going to go over that one.
And I've got a summary for you on that I'm going to give you, along with the
Are you gonna,
forms.
can you do that today? I thought you were needing more time.
I brought it for you.
Oh, good.
Okay,
You'll have two summaries that way, 'cause you have one from me and one from her.
that's
Very good.
right.
But on 23 basically is the vendor files form CIQ, and the elected officials file form CIS, as well as the executive director of the county, as well as anybody in the county who is involved in the process would have to file form CIS. And basically, as she was saying, there was a number of changes made to Chapter 176. In a nutshell, let me try to explain it this way. After September 1, 2015, a vendor or vendor's agent who enters into or seeks to enter into a contract with a local governmental entity must file a conflict of interest questionnaire if the vendor or vendor's agent has a business relationship with a local government entity and has an employment or other business relationship with a local governmental officer, or a family member of the vendor has a relationship with the local business relationship with the local governmental officer. Second, if the vendor has given a local governmental officer or a family member of a local governmental officer any gifts over the last 12 months from the day of the contract, from the date.
Steve, but first blood, second blood, third blood, or what?
Well, family relationship is defined in the bill, and that basically is there's two types. That's why I was trying to figure out the best way to explain this. If the vendor has given a local governmental officer or local governmental entity or family member, and a family member is defined as first degree by consanguinity or affinity of the local governmental officer, anything over $100 for the last preceding 12 months. Now, or the third one is a little bit different, or if the vendor has a, quote, family relationship with a local government officer, and a family relationship is defined as a person related within the third degree by consanguinity or the second degree by affinity. So there's a number of different relationships.
Okay, can you explain what second degree and third degree is?
Well, second degree would be, well, let's do first degree first. First degree would be,
Your brother's son?
no, first degree would be parents, children,
Okay.
or wife, okay? The second degree would be brother, sister, okay? Third degree would include nephew, niece, etc. And I provided purchasing with a chart showing first degree, second degree, and third degree. So they have the chart. Most, and I'm sure Marty can get you that chart if you need it.
It's been forwarded. I also forwarded it when the judge spoke to Ms. Josephine on Friday evening. I had already provided her that some time ago. So she's seen what Mr. Crane had already worked up.
And there's a summary in the packet of information that I provided you as well as to House Bill 23.
So basically, on 23, it's not only does the vendor have to file a form, but the local governmental official, the executive director, anybody in the governmental entity that had any part in negotiating the contract is also required to file another form. Now, those forms aren't filed with the Ethics Commission. Those are just filed locally with the, quote, records administrator, which in this county is the county clerk.
Virginia.
Did I read it right this morning? I'm sorry, but it's about this.
No, I understand it, but I have to ask, did you fill out the
I did not. I didn't know this was coming up. But anyhow, whatever. I just want to say I read it this morning, and the bottom line is the Ethics Commission is trying to find out who profits. And that's whether whatever. They're going to great lengths to try to run it down as far as they can to see if everything is on the up and up. So that's, I mean, we're going through a whole lot of talk, but a lot of people out here aren't understanding the bottom line, which is the Ethics Commission wants to find out who is profiting.
Well, we got no quarrel with what the law is now requiring. We just want to make sure we understand it.
Yeah.
And Judge, Commissioners, what I suggest is you take a look at the summaries of 23 that you've been given, because there's really not a way, unless you actually read the summaries and, more importantly, read the bill to understand what it's really driving at. There's a lot of intricate parts to it. There's a lot of specific information contained in the bill as what's required. But for 23 purposes, it's a lot more complicated than 1295. Now, the one thing I will tell you is, just since you are elected officials, 23 expressly excludes political contributions.
And the disclosure in the summary provided by Josie, which summarizes it pretty well. It's, 3 things must be disclosed: family relationships, business relationships, or financial gifts.
Correct.
And it discusses what the family relationships are. Then it talks about who must disclose: the vendors and local government officers of local government entities, which includes us. And the vendors, a person who enters or seeks to enter a contract with us, and the local government officer, in this case, the executive officer, Mr. Guerra, or an agent of the local government entity who exercises discretion, which covers Raul and our department heads, the individuals that exercise discretion in making determinations on any matters involving the vendors.
Maybe this is a good time, Judge, to, forever, we have vendors in the audience, we have vendors watching. We don't want anything. We don't want the gift baskets where we're going to have to figure out if we have $100 or $250 of value. I know I can speak for myself and I can speak for these gentlemen that you really put us in a predicament. Don't gift us anything. We don't want anything. I want to be clear on that. We appreciate it, but we can't. For them to drop it from $250 to $100 just puts everybody in a predicament. We don't want to fill out forms. We don't want anything. We're not up here for those gifts. So.
And most of those gifts are given away to our employees.
I don't even touch them, yeah.
But even though you're getting it, though, that's a problem.
Don't give them to us.
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Okay.
We probably are going to be coming back at a later date.
Judge, I just do want you to know that we have very specifically in the notices that we're sending the vendors, either if it's post-contract because the state was not ready on 1/1 to carry this. I want to allay everybody's fears about it. The state really wasn't ready at the time. And on our associations, and I think TAC and TASB, all of them were also scrambling at the first of the year to try to get our heads around this 1295 and HB 23. However, I do want you to know that we're placing a very bolded notice on these notices that are sent to the vendors that they need to consult with legal counsel if they have any questions. We're not going to offer them. We've had vendors call and say, fill it out for me, and I'll go and sign it. That can't happen. Some of them want us to actually walk them through the form. We can't do that either. And it's not because we don't want to. It's not that it is not our obligation, and we do not want to put ourselves in the possibility of misinforming them and then have their form, discredited anyway.
That makes sense.
Marty, I was going to ask you a question. What about when the vendors give the employees something?
When we have received, I know food is an exemption in one of the.
Yours received as a guest under 23.
As a guest, when you have it as a guest. What we do, we've done two things. Everyone partakes of it if it's been a tray at Christmas or something like that. And in other cases, even before this bill, I used to actually ask them to go leave it at a church pantry or take it to a nonprofit to take it somewhere. We also feel the same way. We appreciate it too, but and that was before we've done that. Hasn't been often. It's been very rare, but we have done it. Okay, but I do want you to know that everyone has been informed, especially all the departments. We've sent them samples of what to do prior to being ready, and then post one. And then we've changed all our bid packets. Everyone has the forms. Everyone has the notices. So this is and it's an evolving thing until we're all very comfortable with it. And there's so many questions. I do urge the court, if they wish to do a workshop, where it would be really nice for not only employees of the county who will have questions, but vendors who are calling us for questions. I think they want to know too. So I think that those are the questions we're getting most often.
All right. Thank you, Marty. Go ahead, Rose.
Yes, sir. Item 6C, request exemption for competitive bidding requirements under Texas Local Government Code, Section 262.024A4, a professional service.
Move for approval.
Second.
Those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carries.
6D, requesting approval for the district to negotiate a professional appraisal and/or appraisal review services contract with Appraisal House from the district's pre-approved pool of qualified appraisers for the provision of professional appraisal services and/or appraisal review services for Hidalgo County Drainage District Number 1 on an as-needed basis.
Move for approval.
Second.
Those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carries.
Item 7, requesting approval of final negotiated letter of engagement with Burt McCumber and Cortez LLP as it relates to RFQ number ACDD 115-012-11, financial audit services, approved for negotiations by the Board of Directors, January 5th, 2016, and that one has been submitted. The House Bill 1295 form has been submitted and it's complete in our files.
Move for approval.
Second.
Where is that form?
It's right here, sir. It should be attached to your packet, but I have
Do you mind? Let me.
no, sir,
look
not at all.
yours.
It should be right here in your packet, but here it is right here.
One of the guys related to you
It's
or
the
what?
package.
One of the guys related to you?
No, mi primo hermano was married to somebody that he used to work with as a CPA. He's no longer here.
It wasn't.
Anybody want to look at it?
1295, that's a new form.
All right. There's no questions. We need a motion to approve.
Move for approval.
Second.
Those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carries.
Item 8, if I may, requesting approval to advertise for RFP number ACDD 116-007-0323A, sale or exchange, removal and hauling of field dirt, loose materials from J09 project located north of Monte Cristo between Wallace Road and North Main Drain, approximately a quarter mile east of Jackson Road.
Move for approval.
Second.
Those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carries.
Thank you. Item 9, requesting approval of final negotiated agreement for professional engineering services with Urban Infrastructure Group, Inc. as it relates to Precinct 1, Mile 13.5, and FM 1015 Area Drainage Improvement Project, approved for negotiations by the board January 19, 2016.
Move for approval.
Second.
Who are the principals?
That one is Craig Gonzalez is the principal of that firm, sir.
Those in favor indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carries.
Item B, pursuant to the board's approval of professional agreement with Urban Infrastructure Group, requesting approval of work authorization number 1 in the amount of $47,951.57 for engineering services, Precinct 1, Mile 13.5, and FM 1015 Area Drainage Improvement Project.
So moved.
Second.
Those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carries.
Item C, pursuant to the board's approval of professional agreement with Urban Infrastructure Group, requesting approval of work authorization number 2 in the amount of $6,320 for surveying services for Precinct 1, Mile 13.5, and FM 1015 Area Drainage Improvement Project.
So
Move
moved.
approval.
Second.
Those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carries.
Thank you. Item 10, 23 bond series, requesting approval to advertise for RFP number ACDD 116-006-0323 J09 Drain Improvements Phase 2 Construction, Rio Grande Care Road to North Main Drain.
Move for approval.
Second.
Those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carries.
Item 11, Precinct 1 Rural Drainage Development, requesting approval to issue payment on the following items. If I may, I'll read them out, A, B, and C. Application for payment number 4 in the amount of $7,884 for from Jimenez Engineering Solutions, LLC, DBA International Consulting Engineers related to construction contract ACDD 115-006-0602A, project engineer Quintanilla Headley and Associates. Item B, acceptance of certificate of substantial completion from Jimenez Engineering Solutions, LLC, DBA International Consulting Engineers related to construction contract ACDD 115-006-0602A, issued on January 13th of 16, and then acceptance of certificate of construction completion from Jimenez Engineering Solutions, LLC, DBA International Consulting Engineers related to construction contract ACDD 115-006-0602A, issued January 15th, 16.
Move for approval on A, B, and C.
Thank you.
Those in favor, say aye. Aye. Motion carries.
That's, for the record, that's our Tijuana drainage improvements that we finally completed in that area, part of our projects that we had in Road Drainage Development Precinct 1. Item 12, Road Drainage Development Precinct 1, request approval to issue payment on the following items. Item A, application for retainage release in the amount of $24,891.20 from Jimenez Engineering Solutions, LLC, DBA International Consulting Engineers, related to construction contract ACDD 115-006-06-02A, Engineer Quintanilla Headley and Associates.
Move for approval.
Second.
Those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries.
Item 13, Precinct 4, Road Drainage Development, approval to issue payment on the following items. Application for retainage release in the amount of $58,278.60 from Pega JPS Utilities, LLC, related to contract number ACDD 1, Precinct 4, Towel Road and Mile 17.5 Road Drainage Improvement. Project engineer is Noé Saldivar from the Drainage District. And item B, acceptance of certificate of construction completion for Pega JPS Utilities, LLC, related to contract number ACDD 1, Precinct 4, Tower Road and Mile 17.5 Road Drainage Improvements, issued December 22nd, 2015.
Move for approval on A and B.
Those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries.
Thank you. Item 14, J09 Project, Precinct 4, approved issue payment on the following item. Invoice number 2015-22 in the amount of $37,007.58 from Hidalgo County Precinct number 4 for reimbursement of labor, machine hours, and fuel related to the construction of the J09 project. Engineer Ted's Infrastructure Group. Everything's in order.
Move for approval.
Second.
Those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries.
Item 15, Road Drainage Development Precinct 4, approval to issue payment in the amount of $178,452.46 to Hidalgo County Urban County Program for District's share of construction costs from the original amount of $367,452.46 as per interlocal agreement approved by Board November 10, 2015. It's part of our cost share that we have for our project.
Second.
Those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries.
And we do have executive session items to discuss.
Pursuant to 551, 071, and 072, need a motion to proceed to executive session.
So moved.
Second.
Those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries. We'll be in executive session for a short while. We're back in open session.
If I may, Judge, item 17A, real estate acquisition, no action, and then 17B, pending potential litigation, will proceed as directed by the board.
Need
That's it, sir.
anything
Motion to
else? Need a motion to adjourn? Those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion
Thank you very
carries.
much.
At this time, we're going to convene a regular meeting of the Hidalgo County Commissioners Court for today, February the 16th, 2016. Present are Commissioner Cuellar, Precinct 1, Commissioner Cantu, Precinct 2, Commissioner Flores, Precinct 3, and myself. We have a quorum. Please join us in our Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge
allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Dear Father in heaven, we come to you today asking for all your blessings, for we badly need them, and we need them in our country, we need them in our world, we need them in our families. We just need you to bless us and keep us strong and keep us on the right path, always doing your will, dear Lord. We do thank you, though, for all the blessings that you give us. We thank you for these beautiful days that we're having. We also thank you, Lord, for all the things that you do to bless Hidalgo County. Please help these men and the judge as they make decisions that has something to do with our future, all of us. And we ask this in the name of the Father, Son, and the Holy Spirit. Amen.
Amen.
Judge, Commissioners,
Yes, sir.
just for the record, Commissioner Joseph Palacios could not be with us this morning. He is at a joint NPO meeting in Brownsville. And so, again, for the record, he is at a joint NPO meeting in Brownsville.
Yes, I know that today we have the presence of the chair of the Texas Department of Transportation, Mr. Tryon Lewis,
Yes.
who is down here, along with the director, Mr. Bassett.
Yes.
All right, next item, our consent agenda. Any concerns?
No concerns have been addressed.
Move for approval.
Second.
Those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carries. Anyone sign up under open forum?
Yes, sir, we do have participants under open forum. Our first participant is Lynn Reyes. And again, as a reminder to all, there is a 3-minute time limit, and I ask everyone in the audience to please respect the speaker's time at the podium. Ms. Reyes?
Spanish.
En español, está bien.
Buenos días a todos. Mi nombre es María Lina Reyes y vengo de la Curry Estates de Edinburgh. Y vengo a darles las gracias por apoyarnos en las calles que se inundaba la colonia. Les doy las gracias a todos. Y es una lástima que no esté José Palacio, comisionado, que nos está ayudando en la colonia. Y estamos agradecidos porque nos están ayudando con la limpieza en la colonia. Y estamos recolectando las firmas de toda la colonia para que nos apoyen con la luz del alumbrado de la colonia. Estamos recolectando las firmas para traerlas. Y estamos agradecidos por todo lo que nos han apoyado. Veníamos a avisarle a José Palacios, comisionado, para que nos sigan apoyando, que nos hagan el favor. Y estamos bien agradecidos con todo lo que nos han ayudado, de la limpieza y de todo lo de la limpieza y lo de la... el drenaje y lo de las calles que nos han apoyado en todo. Damos gracias a todos.
Gracias.
Very briefly, too bad that Joseph Palacios is not here. My name is Lina Reyes, and I'm just here to be grateful to the Commission, especially to Joseph Palacios for all the work that he's been done in our colonia. My colonia is Curry Estates, and he has fixed the streets, the drainage, and now we working as a residents of the colonia to get the signatures so we can get our colonia ready for the light. So I'm just here to be grateful and to give thanks to the commissioner, but in general to other commissioners for working with us. Thank you.
Thank you.
Next presenter is Marta Sanchez.
Well, yeah, sorry.
Okay.
Good morning. It's me. I'm the same person. I'm just here because I just wanted to thank all the commission and the judge because we have established a good communication with Mr. Rey Salazar and his department and continue to work in the project of the light. And so we can make this a really good project and that we can succeed. And we're grateful that you have been pushing for that. We appreciate that all of you are in contact with him and that we are in contact with him. And so we're going to be having regular meetings with him to be sure that when the bill is sent to these residents of the colonias who have the light, that the residents of the colonias respond quickly so they can pay this bill that is going to be had to be paid, so they can the light can continue. And this is just because we're doing our part, and we want the residents of the colonias to do their part. If you do your part of installing the lights, the residents' part is to pay for the electricity for the year. And so we're really committed to make this a success, this project a success, and we're willing to work with them. And we appreciate that Mr. Salazar has established some kind of system where we're going to be communicating regularly, so we can be advised of what's going on, and that way we can take this message to the colonia. So thank you so much for supporting this effort, and we continue to work to make this a better county.
Thank you, ma'am. Valde, anybody else?
Yes, Ms. Townsend, but I believe she's already spoke. I'm just kidding. Virginia Townsend.
What's that?
That wasn't funny. I thought it was.
We did.
No, you're going to have to excuse my ignorance. I've got Fern here to help me. Because all the years I have been here, my husband and I work very hard so we can pay our taxes every year on time. But I had no idea. You know, I wonder, well, my goodness sake, why do people let it go until they lose their houses, lose their property? I don't understand. Well, now I understand a little bit better. I didn't realize that the penalty and interest starts right away in February and then increases and increases and increases. And then by the time it gets to the end of the year, that's when Kalimi Linebarger pick up and have a 15% thing for delinquent taxes. So it gets to be such big tax bills that I see why people cannot pay it. I hope everybody understands that they can get help on paying in payments. I believe they can. I was going to ask our tax guy today if it started right away in February, can they start paying it off?
Our tax lawyers have represented to us that if they get, if there's a request made by the taxpayer, that they're willing to work out some kind of a time payment plan.
I would hope so. That would be good. I don't know. I just never realized it accumulated so fast and so much. I feel sorry for people who don't understand I know a lot of people are coming over here from Mexico, have never paid taxes in their lives and think they don't have to pay them, but they do. And they're getting kind of surprised in these big $200,000 homes on South Sherry. They're getting surprised that they are losing their homes because they haven't paid their taxes. There needs to be some kind of, I don't know, information. Thanks.
Our next presenter is Ms. Fern III.
Yes, while I'm here, this is unbelievable. When we found out that in February it starts at 7%, and then 9%, this is each month, 11, 13, 15, 18, and when you get into July at the 18%, that's when Linebarger, the 15% kicks in on top of that. And the county goes all the way to 24 cents if they cannot pay it that year. And my remark is, y'all need to be doing something. You want to build a new courthouse, but this is the people that y'all don't mind taking their property. And the taxes are going to go up on these people. And this last week we had a hearing down in Harlingen, Senate Select Committee on Property Tax Reform and Relief. The only ones that were there, and we had senators from all over on this committee, and there was only one county judge that was there. It wasn't Hidalgo County, it wasn't Cameron County, it was Nueces County. And he was there talking, and I'll be darned, he was a Republican. So I don't know where the rest of the county judges were. I know that y'all probably don't care too much about property tax reform and relief on the taxpayers, but we certainly do, and we wish that y'all would think about this. Like I say, we were just shocked. The tax collector was there, the appraisal district person was there, but I didn't see many from the county. So like I say, if you really mean relief for the taxpayers, then how come we didn't have someone down there with the county? Thank you.
Thank you. Next presenter is Omar Rodriguez. Mr. Rodriguez, the topic is food bank. I apologize if I didn't get the name right.
Just wanted to thank you for thank Julia and thank the commissioners and the judge for addressing hunger here in the valley. And that's pretty much it. I think we're going to be having a proclamation eventually. So we just want to thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. Next presenter is Melissa. I'm sorry, I can't. Melissa with prescription Dropbox. Again, Melissa. Oh, I'm sorry. Okay.
We're together, Judge.
Oh, okay. I apologize. I can't read the last name. Albiar.
Good morning, Judge, Commissioners. Just real quick, we've got a couple of things on the agenda here, Judge. The first one I've got here is 8D, A1-53131.
Or we
Constable.
open forum.
Oh, okay. Okay, I thought it was. Oh, okay. That's fine. We'll wait, Judge. Okay.
Just to give you a thank you for allowing us to come here and present to you the benefit of the community of having this permanent prescription drop box in this area and assisting the Edinburgh Police Department since they already have one. Thank you.
Thank you. Our next presenter is Ms. Opal Billman.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Ownership and rent are not synonyms. Ownership requires a purchase. To own requires an agreement to buy. In an exchange of a specific amount of money for the purpose of legal possession and all rights to the property, the buyer purchases it from the seller. When sold, the seller can no longer claim the property. Rent is to allow the possession and use of a property owned by one person to someone else. In exchange for the use of the commodity, the owner charges agreed upon fees as long as the renter uses the property. The money paid for the use is called rent. If the use is occurring, the renter cannot claim the fees he paid for use has bought him the property. That would be fraud. The property still belongs to the owner. Billman Real Estate LTD has no legal standing to claim any part of community property owned by Joe and Opal Billman. Twin Lakes RV Park is community property owned by the estate of Joe Billman and me. Lots in the park are rented. If the renter pays their personal property taxes not in their names, but in the name of Billman Real Estate LTD, it does not make them investors or owners of the community property of Joe and me. From my police enforced confinement, I observed 20 acres of land purchased by Joe and me from Howard Construction Company with no drainage problem is being used as a drainage field. Heavy equipment has been used to construct a drainage ditch across the 20 acres and connect it to our lake. The entire field has been caterpillared to slope, incline, and drain into our privately owned lake. That's major damage to 20 acres of land that belongs to the estate of Joe Billman and me. The court has no authority to do whatever they want to do with my community property. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Our last presenter is Mr. Eddie Olivares.
Good morning, Judge, Commissioners. This is just a quick update on Walk Across Texas and a Healthy South Texas kickoff. Our local Texas A&M AgriLife Extension here out of Hidalgo County is taking the lead in providing this wonderful program. It's scheduled for February 20th from 9 a.m. to 12 p.m. at Edinburgh City Hall courtyard. And my understanding is that several of you commissioners and judge have committed to take part in it in some form or fashion. So I want to come up and thank everyone for taking part in this. So again, it's the Walk Across Texas Healthy South Texas Kickoff, Edinburgh City Hall courtyard, February 20th, 9 a.m. to 12 p.m. And again, Texas A&M AgriLife Extension is taking the lead. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Judge, we have no one left under open forum.
All right, then we'll move on to Mr. Constable Gaitan.
Constable Gaitan, I believe it is item 8D and E.
Thank you, Judge, Commissioners. Good morning once again. 8D, Judge, Commissioners, A1-53131, Constable Precinct 4, requesting authorization for the county judge to execute the 2015 Equitable Sharing Agreement and Certification Report.
Move for approval.
Those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carries.
The next one, Judge, if I could just elaborate a little bit before I make my request. With me, Judge, is Melissa Alviar, and she's with Unidad Coalition, United Neighbors in Drug Abuse Defense. The United Neighbors in Drug Abuse Defense Coalition, a program of behavioral health solutions of South Texas, in participations with the Hidalgo County Constable Precinct 4, have applied and been approved to receive a grant from CVS Pharmacy to obtain a permanent prescription medication drop box for installation at the Hidalgo County Constable Precinct 4's office. Hidalgo County Constable Precinct 4 and Unidad Coalition aim to help residents of Hidalgo County to safely dispose of expired, unused, or unwanted medication. The community will now have a permanent safe drug disposal alternative, no questions asked. At their local police departments, the goal is to reduce the availability of prescribed medication for recreational use, which has resulted in addiction, intoxication, and overdoses. In Hidalgo County, there have been approximately 848 reports of dangerous exposure to prescription medication made to the Texas Poison Center Network from 2009 to 2014. The majority of cases have been reported to occur in the home of residents. This environmental strategy, the Dropbox, provides an opportunity to educate the community about dangers that prescription medications pose if left unattended in homes or improperly discarded. Improper disposal of prescription medications has shown to have an adverse effect on the environment. More importantly, this prescription medication Dropbox will allow for a reduction of access to medications for accidental or intentional misuse by children or other homes. So, Judge, on number 8E, A1-53110, Constable Precinct 4 requesting approval to participate alongside with United Neighbors in Drug Abuse Defense, Unidad Coalition, in reducing prescription drug abuse in Hidalgo County by participating in the CVS Operation Medicine Drop Permanent Collection Box program. By having a drop box located in our department, residents of Hidalgo County can safely dispose of expired, unused, or unwanted prescription medications.
Move for approval.
Second.
Those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carries. Thank you.
Thank you, Judge, Commissioners.
Now we have our Constable Precinct 3, Mr. Gallardo.
Judge, Commissioners, that would be item 8B and 8C.
Good morning, Commissioners. Judge, 8B, requesting approval for the Year 15 Equitable Sharing Agreement and Certification Report for the Hidalgo County Constable Precinct 3.
Move for approval.
Second. Those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carries.
8C, presentation and discussion of the 2015 racial profiling report as presented by the Hidalgo County Constable Precinct 3 Department in accordance with Article 2.134 of the Texas Code of Criminal Procedures.
Move for approval.
Second.
Those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. motion
Monica has the
carries.
original there for you all to sign. It needs to be sent off. Okay? Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Gallardo.
Judge, I'm going to ask if we can just finish up with the constables. We have Chief Campos representing Constable Precinct 2.
All right. Item 8A. Morning, gentlemen.
Morning, Judge, Commissioner. Fernando Gaitan for Constable Martin Cantu. AI 53317, presentation and discussion of the 2015 Racial Profiling Report as presented by the Hidalgo County Constable Precinct 2 Office in accordance with Article 2.133 of the Texas Code of Criminal Procedure.
So moved. Those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries.
Thank you.
Thank you. This time we move back to our regular agenda, item number 6A.
Good morning, Judge and Commissioners. Julia Benita Sullivan, Public Affairs Director. Item 6A is a proclamation declaring February 2016 as Canned Food Month in Hidalgo County. And joining us are two representatives from the Food Bank of the Rio Grande Valley, Inc., Ms. Terry Drefke, who's the CEO, and Omar I. Rodriguez, the Communications and Advocacy Manager. Whereas the Food Bank of the Rio Grande Valley is celebrating its 30th year of operation, serving 45,000 people every week. And whereas the Food Bank asks that people celebrate Canned Food Month by hosting food drives or by making a charitable donation. And whereas canned food is a staple for the Food Bank, providing some of the most accessible dietary options for its clients. And whereas the Food Bank distributed a record 35 million pounds of food to hungry families in Hidalgo, Willacy, and Cameron counties in 2015, the Food Bank of the Rio Grande Valley is the 5th largest in Texas and the 36th largest in the nation. And whereas the Food Bank is affiliated with Feeding America and the Texas Food Bank Network and shares its mission with up to 250 charities, churches, and nonprofit partner agencies. And whereas the Food Bank partners with the County of Hidalgo as a donations and volunteer coordinator in times of disasters and emergencies. Now therefore be it resolved that the Hidalgo County Commissioners Court does hereby proclaim the month of February as Canned Food Month and encourages Hidalgo County departments, other local governments, businesses, churches, schools, and residents to support the Food Bank of the Rio Grande Valley, Inc. Approved the 16th day of February, 2016.
Motion approved.
Second.
Those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries.
Thank you, Julie. Thank you, Judge and Commissioners. We appreciate very much the opportunity to work with you all. As a partner and first responder in the time of disaster, we were very active with the flooding this year. Unfortunately, many areas of the county was hit. We appreciate the support of the food drive during the month of February. You know, Julia mentioned 45,000. That's valley-wide, but right here in Hidalgo County, we actually serve 28,000 of that 45,000. So there's lots of folks here in Hidalgo County that are served every week. There's lots of hungry folks, as I'm sure y'all have seen yourselves in your different areas that you serve. So we very much appreciate the opportunity to work with you as a partner in serving the need throughout the Rio Grande Valley and Hidalgo County in particular. Thank you so very much.
Thank you.
I think we're going to try and get a picture with you all. Yeah.
Okay, ready? 1, 2, 3.
Thank you for being here. Thank you. Good to see you.
Thank you for what you do.
Thank you.
All right,
And
next
Judge,
item is item 6B.
Judge, may I say, I'm so sorry, may I say something really quickly as well? I just wanted to mention that today is the last Commissioners Court that Hilda Salinas from my office will be joining us as a public affairs specialist. She went to, she accepted a position with the Elections Department, so she'll be helping them out.
Well, Sylvia has something to do this week. Good luck, Gilda.
Thank you.
Our next item, item 6B.
Michael Leo, County Judge's Office, Economic Development. 6B is approval of a letter of support for EDP Renewables Hidalgo Wind Farm with authority for County Judge to sign This is in reference to the wind farm project we're all familiar with. The letter is just to advise that there are no zoning regulations with regard to the location of the project and the type of the project. Our planning director's been involved. They reviewed it. Language was added that if applicable, it would be subject to further review of planning, health, fire, and safety regulations. We will be working with the company and with the departments on that. But for now, what you have before you is in reference to the zoning requirements. The letter's been drafted, edited, reviewed, and approved by legal and our planning department, and it's presented to the court for approval, authorizing the judge to sign.
Mike,
Yes, sir.
who are the principals involved?
It was obviously the company, but it was our planning department, our legal. Now, there was some.
Well, no, I'm talking about the company.
Oh, I'm
that
sorry.
we're working
For
with and
EDP?
helping. I mean, because of that new law, that House Bill 23 and House Bill 1295.
Yeah. Mr. Henry Waltog from EDP is here, and I think maybe he can answer that question as far as the actual principles. I know it's come up before in the past.
Because one of our commissioners does work with some of the wind farm companies.
Okay. Sure. I'm going to turn it over to Henry Waltog.
Yes. Good morning, Judge, Commissioners.
Morning, sir. Can you tell us the name of your company and who the principals are?
Yes. So the wind farm, the parent company is EDP Renewables North America, LLC. The wind farm is a wholly owned subsidiary, Hidalgo Wind Farm, LLC. So each of our wind farms around the United States is set up in its own individual LLC, so it can stand on its own legs.
Do you know whether or not your company is doing business with any member of the court?
As far as I know, none of our landowners are members of the court.
We're doing some work around La Feria or Lyford somewhere over there for another company, not theirs.
Yeah, correct.
That's totally different.
Yeah, there's another wind farm in Starr County that's a totally separate company, Duke Renewables.
And I'm starting a job in Bayview.
Yeah, because they require concrete to come in.
Right.
Yeah.
Probably it doesn't sound like the same company, but I'll need to find out and make sure.
But the only thing is, what do they require services while they're operating in, say, McCook area? Or
The way we build our projects is we hire one civil contractor. In this case, it's Mortensen, who has worked in the Valley before, and they subcontract everything. So we don't have any say over the subcontracting and where we get caliche from, where we get cement from. That's all up to our primary civil contractor, Mortensen.
All right, well, thank you, sir.
Mm-hmm.
Need a motion to approve?
Motion approved.
Second.
Those in favor indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carries.
Thank you.
All right, item 7, our DA's office.
Good morning, Commissioners, County Judge.
Good morning.
Rosie Cantu, presenting for the DA's office. Item 7A is DA's office, Hidalgo County Domestic Violence Specialty Prosecutor Grant. Number 1, requesting approval to apply for the FY 2016 Hidalgo County Domestic Violence Specialty Prosecutor Grant.
Move for approval.
Second. Those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carries.
Number 2, requesting approval of resolution to designate county judge as the grantee's authorized official and signature of documents.
Move for approval.
Second. Those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carries.
And I just wanted to say that that's a renewal of a grant. We already currently have it in place. 7B, HIDA Task Force, Fund 1252 and 1254, requesting approval of the amended FY 2014 Equitable Sharing Agreement and Certification Report for the HIDA Task Force.
Move for approval.
Second.
Those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carries.
Number 2, requesting approval of the FY 2015 Equitable Sharing Agreement and Certification Report for the HIDA Task Force.
Move for approval.
Second. Those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carries.
District Attorney, Fund 1256, requesting approval of the FY 2015 Equitable Sharing Agreement and Certification Report for the Hidalgo County District Attorney's Office.
Move for approval.
Second.
Those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carries.
Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am. Item 9, our Sheriff's Office.
morning, Judge, Commissioners.
Good morning.
Captain Raul Cantu from the Sheriff's Office, here representing our Hidalgo County Sheriff, Eddie Guerra. Under item A, A153400, authorization approval to apply for the K-9s for Cops grant.
Move to approve.
Second. Those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries.
Okay, number 2, authorization for a county judge as authorized official to sign required documents for the application.
Move to approve.
Second. Those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries.
Item B, A153341, requesting authorization to amend the 2014 Equitable Sharing Agreement and Certification Report and authorize the county judge to execute said report.
Second. Those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries.
Number 2, requesting authorization for the county judge to execute the 2015 Equitable Sharing Agreement and Certification Report.
Move to approve.
Second. Those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries.
C, A153336, authorization approval of agreement between Langley Productions, Inc. and the Hidalgo County Sheriff's Office for filming program episodes at the Hidalgo County Jail with authorization for Hidalgo County Sheriff Eddie Guerra to execute agreement, subject to compliance with House Bill 1295 or other statutes when and if applicable.
Move for approve.
Second. Those in favor say aye. 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 Motion carries.
Item D, 1, approval of memorandum of understanding for emergency evacuation plan and addendum between the Department of Homeland Security, Immigration, and Customs Enforcement and the Hidalgo County Sheriff's Office.
Move for approve.
Second. Those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries.
2, authorization for the county judge as authorized official and county sheriff to sign said documents.
Move for approve.
Second. Those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries.
Thank you, gentlemen.
Did you do F?
2 more.
You got 2 more. E and F.
Okay, I apologize. Yes, you're correct. F, A153287, requesting approval for fuel reimbursement for Sergeant Joshua Kaltenbach in the amount of $23.30, with authority for county treasurer to issue check after auditing procedures are completed by county auditor.
So moved.
Second. And you skipped E, no?
Yeah. Those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries.
You got 1 more. E.
From me, E2.
E1,
1
and 2.
1 and 2.
1 and 2.
It's at the top of the page. Well, on ours it is.
No, E2. E1 and 2.
No, we're on E.
Okay. Approval, that's under E. Approval and authorization for the county judge as authorized
No,
official.
number 2. We need number 1 first.
I read number 1.
No?
No.
No.
Okay.
Just do it again.
Okay. EA153247, approval of memorandum of understanding for mutual assistance and addendum between the Department of Veteran Affairs and the Hidalgo County Sheriff's Office.
So moved.
Second.
Those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries.
Okay, number 2, approval and authorization for the county judge as authorized official and county sheriff to sign said documents.
Those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries.
Thank you.
The last one?
No, we got it.
Oh, wait. Thank you, sir. Item 10, our executive office.
Thank you, Judge Commissioners. Item A, we will address later on the agenda. So I'm asking to go to item B.
Okay. All right, sir.
So item B, Tropical Texas Behavioral Health. I'm asking approval of payment to Tropical Texas Behavioral Health for fiscal year 2016 county allocation, which is a required local match in the amount of $810,358. This is for the contract number 537-160124 00036. This is in accordance with the Texas Health and Safety Code, which is 534.066. As always, 534.066. This is always with authority for the county treasurer to issue check after review and auditing and processing procedures are completed by our county auditor's office.
Move for approval.
Second. Those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries.
Second action item would be the approval of the payment to Tropical Texas Behavioral Health fiscal year 2016 allocation, again match, in the amount of $248,109. This is for psychiatric emergency crisis services. This is DSHS contract 537-16-0124 0036. Authority of County Treasurer to issue check. After review, audit and processes are completed by our county auditor.
Move to approve.
Second.
Those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carries.
Judge, Commissioners, for the record, the total payment amount is $1,058,467. Item C, asking authorization.
That's out of our general fund?
Yes, sir. Out of 1,100 general fund. This is part of the.
It keeps going up every year.
Yes, sir, it does. And this is, again, these are some of the issues that we contend with during the budgeting process with respect to allocation of our revenue and how that affects services in other areas.
Yes, sir. Okay, go ahead.
Item C, authorization for County Judge Ramon Garcia to sign the certification by state or local official of PH8 plans consistency with the consolidated plan form to be submitted by the Hidalgo County Housing Authority for their annual year capital fund program application.
Move for approval.
Second.
Those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carries.
Judge, item D, E, and F, there is a concern by the auditor's office with respect to the resolutions not being attached. Those resolutions were brought to us this morning and should have already been attached to the agenda. I'm going to ask, we should have representatives from Villa Verde, Affordable Housing Project, Starlight Development, and Palmera Heights. I'm going to ask that Villa Verde come to the podium, or the representative come to the podium. There's a discussion and approval of a resolution of the Commissioners Court of Hidalgo County to support the proposed affordable housing project known as Villa Verde. I'm going to, Judge, Commissioners, because of our time constraints, I'm going to ask that the presentation be no longer than 10 minutes.
This will be short. Morning, Judge, Commissioners.
3 minutes.
I represent the Villa Verde apartment project proposed in Weslaco. This is Mario Reyna from our engineer.
Mr. Reyna, you're from the city?
No, sir. I'm from Meldon Hunt.
Meldon Hunt engineer. He's our engineer, project engineer. This is a proposed 140-unit affordable housing development financed with housing tax credits.
That's 40 units?
140.
140.
140, 1, 2, and 3 bedroom. It's in the ETJ of Weslaco, south border and 5 Mile Road. And it's around a $16 million project that we're proposing, housing tax credits, and we're here today asking for a resolution of support from the county for this development. So, and Mario's got some other.
Have you already got approval from the city's planning and zoning and the city commission?
Not yet on this one. We've been before the city commission, but that's.
County Judge, if I could share something with you.
Go ahead, Mario.
Steve, you want to hold this up for him? County Judge, good morning. County Commissioners, Mario Reyna. I'm a principal at Meldon Hunt and the engineer on this project. What we have before you is a 20-acre proposed. Okay. So what this is a 20-acre tract of land on South Border Avenue and 5 Mile Road. And in talks with the mayor of Weslaco and the city manager, they made us aware that there is a drainage issue in this part of town. So we have been working closely with them. What we're proposing to do is put the multifamily development on 8 acres and dedicate the remaining 12 acres to the city for a regional detention pond and a park. So we have been in contact with the city. They have supported this project. And I'm hoping to leave here today with a resolution of support from the court. I'd be happy to answer any questions you guys might have.
Well, I just want, from my part, I just want to make sure that the city planning and zoning and the city commissioners court have already given their approval to the project.
Yeah, we won't actually go through the process until we're granted the tax credits. So it's an application process that we're.
Is there a way of making a motion subject to the approval to be given by the P&Z and the city commissioners of Weslaco?
Well, yes, and Judge, I'm going to ask that each just make a presentation. We do have language further down on the agenda under economic development, and then we can come back out and take whatever action we deem needed. So right now, I wanted each of the projects just to make their presentation.
All right.
And then we will take some action further down the agenda. Before?
No, we got it from Weslaco. Okay. So I think I made it easy.
Okay.
Any questions? Thank you, guys.
Thank you.
Thank you, Judge, Commissioner.
Thank you, sir.
Then I'll ask the representatives for Starlight Development. Judge, for the record, again, discussion and approval of resolution of the Commissioners Court of Hidalgo County to support the proposed affordable housing project to be known as Starlight Development. Again, 10 minutes.
I won't take 10 minutes.
Okay.
Judge, Commissioners, my name is David Frukiel. Thank you for your time. I represent Versa Development. In a nutshell, we also are proposing a low-income housing tax credit financed project here. This project in particular is approximately 160 units max. We probably will land closer to the 140 to 150 range. We're still finalizing our site plan right now. That being said, it's an approximate 8-acre tract at Raul Longoria in Alberta. It's actually in the Edinburgh ETJ, but county jurisdiction. The project is actually restricted to, as proposed, will be restricted to senior citizens 55 and over. It's going to be most likely a 3-story product, maybe some 2-story, but most likely 3-story, and it will be elevator served to serve the senior citizens of the community. It will consist of 1 and 2 bedrooms. It'll be 100% masonry on the exteriors, masonry being either a stone type product, stucco, and hardy plank siding, so it has a longevity and lifespan that will exceed everybody in this room. The rents will range from a 30% AMI for the senior citizens that don't necessarily have a pension or different means of income, and go all the way up to 60% of the AMI, area median income. I think the last thing I probably would want to touch on, and I don't know if I caught this correctly, but as far as we have been in conversations with the city of Edinburgh, and in fact, I've got a very good handle on the process of working with the county and the city together, because we are developing a property next door to it that will probably break ground in the next 60 to 90 days. That is a family project, same type of product, but designated for families, not restricted to senior citizens. And we look forward to getting your approval and support for the senior community. We like to, when afforded the opportunity, we like to build seniors next to our family communities. It creates a lot of synergies between the senior citizens and the residents of the family side. What I mean by that is mentorship programs from one to the other, volunteer from the residents of the family to the senior, mentorship from the senior community to the family, so on and so forth. So with that being said, I'm happy to answer any questions you might have. Otherwise, that's the short version of the project.
I just want, has the city's planning and zoning or the city commissioners approved it?
So we will go before the city council on the 23rd for support, but I think that's not going to be a problem. As far as P&Z and things of that nature, because it is the ETJ, the only thing that we've got to work with them from a development standpoint is they will review the plat and the civil engineering plans, and that won't occur until later. So there is no zoning or anything of that nature from P&Z. And then as far as support, it will be on the 23rd. Requesting the same resolution of support, we should go before the council on the 23rd.
Any questions? Thank you.
One question for you guys, and I think I caught the tail end of on the other presentation. As far as items 25F and 27F, the financial consideration, are we going to have the opportunity to come up again and talk about that, or should I?
As discussion ensues in open session in the court halls. Yes.
Okay, great, wonderful. Okay, wonderful, thank you.
Item F, Judge Commissioners, would be Palmetto Heights. I'd ask representatives of Palmetto Heights to come up. And again, discussion approval resolution of Commissioners Court of Hidalgo County to support the proposed affordable housing project to be known as Palmetto Heights.
Judge, Commissioners, my name is Sunny Phillip, and I represent a nonprofit. It's a grassroots level nonprofit for the Valley. We have developed about 3 different products, 2 in La Feria, 1 in Palmera, and building another one in Brownsville. This one is a rural application. There is no other application competing for this rural project in Hidalgo County. This is the only one. And most of the time, rural developments are very scarce because there is not enough money there. And since it is a nonprofit, we are proposing that one. We have been in clear communication with the city of Elsa. It is outside the city limits on mile 6, just maybe 200, 300 feet south of 107. And the city of Elsa City Commission will be considering this item as a support resolution tonight at 6 o'clock. And the city manager and the staff and the city engineer confirmed that they don't have any objection. As a matter of fact, they are working with the county also to establish a promise zone. Number one item they have identified is the affordable housing. And it's a $10.8 million project. During construction time, the contractor will hire about 60 employees for a 6-month period of time. And the applications are due on March 1. So therefore, it is extremely important that we get the support letter from the Commissioner's Court so that we'll be able to include that document to the state. We humbly ask that you support the project. These kind of developments are badly needed for the Valley. And again, here's a nonprofit from the Valley trying to address that need. Any questions I can answer?
How many units did you say?
It's going to be 80 units.
80?
Yes, sir. That's the maximum you can build in a rural area.
Where is it going? What city are they going to be located in?
City of Elsa, just outside the city limits of Elsa, on the west side of mile 6. Yes.
On the south side?
South side of 107. And the city has already agreed to improve the lift station to accommodate the flow. Okay. And so they are working with us.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Okay, as I said earlier, Judge Commissioners, items D, E, and F we will come back at, before the end of the court session. Item G, I'm asking approval of the 2016 museum funding agreement between the County of Hidalgo and Museum of South Texas History in the amount of $360,000. This is subject to compliance with House Bill 1295 and other statutes when and if applicable.
Move for approval.
Second.
Those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries.
Item H, approval of the 2016 library interlocal agreements between Hidalgo County and the following cities. That would be Alamo, Donna, Edinburgh, Elsa, Hidalgo, La Jolla, McAllen, Mercedes, Mission, Benitez, Far, San Juan, and Weslaco.
So moved.
Second.
Those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries.
Item I is a request by the Edinburgh Fire Department to use the Hidalgo County Courthouse Square for a bike and run event to be held Saturday, May 21st, 2016. It will be an all-day event. We will, if favorable by the court, we will secure all proper insurance documentation.
Move for approval.
Second.
Those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries.
Item J, requesting permission by Casa of Hidalgo County, Inc., to use open forum area of the courthouse for their 19th annual candlelight vigil to be held on April 7th, 2016, from 5:30 p.m. to 8 p.m. Again, Judge Commissioners, if favorable, we will coordinate with the Sheriff's Office with this event.
So
Insurance and everything.
Yes.
So moved.
Those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries.
Item K is approval to accept settlement checks from the Attorney General of Texas in the amount of $4,000. This will settle an auto claim accident with one of our county vehicles.
Move for approval.
Second.
Those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries.
Item L for our indigent defense program, I'm requesting approval to reimburse Mr. Isidro Sepulveda Jr. in the amount of $9 and Mr. David Cinder in the amount of $11.09.
So moved.
Second.
Those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries.
Item M is there is a concern by the auditor's office, if I'm not mistaken. Yes. Yes. They're requesting no action on one of the invoices in the amount of $300. They're advising us that there was an update to the local rules that stipulate that all the individuals that participate in this program were aware of the fact that their invoices had to be submitted within 45 days of disposition. And so at this time, we did have a request from Mr. Joel Garcia with respect to Attorney Roel Garcia, with respect to a couple of invoices. And so, again, for the record, under public defense, requesting approval of payment of attorney vouchers not submitted within 3 months of the disposition as per local rules of administrative adopted under Texas Local Government Code 74.093. This is from Attorney J. Roel Garcia in connection with legal representation of indigent defendants with authority for the county treasurer to issue payment. After review and auditing procedures are completed, there were 2 invoices, one out of county court law number 4. The invoice dated June 4th, 2015, the amount of $200, and the second one, the one in question by the auditor's office, 112515 is the invoice paid out of County Court Law 2, as I said, in the amount of $300 for a total of $500 is the request. Judge, Commissioners, I don't think there's a question that there was a service rendered. I would ask the board to take favorable consideration, and then the issue with respect to whether or not that invoice would be paid, would be authorized for payment, would be something that the Board of Judges, I would imagine, Ms. Linda, I would imagine at the end of the day, the Board of Judges would, subject to their approval. But I don't think there's a question that there was a service rendered.
Move for approval, subject to.
Second.
Right, on authority for that payment. Okay.
Those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carries.
And we have item 11, under our HR.
Good morning, Judge, Commissioners. Item Raul Seguero, representing Executive Office and HR. Item 11, Judge, 11A says requesting the waiver of the budget amendment policy for personnel-related amendments. Judge, Commissioners, I would like to request this waiver for all the items that follow, so I don't have to reread that one.
So moved.
Second.
Those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carries.
Item A2 is approval of the following salary schedule changes effective 1/25/16, and this is for the County Judge's Office. A little background, during the budget process, Judge, we made an error. We took the salary from a vacant position to reclassify another, and we took it from the wrong position, so we're restoring this. This is simply a correction. It's slot 0028 executive assistant. We're reducing that from 61,532 to 59,727, and 0003 from 7336, restoring it to 72,141. This is not an increase in salary for anybody or any position.
Move for approval.
Second.
Those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carries.
And item 3 is approval to revise the salary schedule accordingly.
Move for approval.
Second.
Those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carries.
Item B, for the criminal auxiliary court, this is discussion, consideration, approval of the following personnel action effective next full pay period, 2/22/16. This is simply a title change only, slot 0004, current title liaison, and the new title, the proposed title, is assistant court coordinator.
Move for approval.
Second.
Those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carries.
On this one, it's an assistant court coordinator, but they mistitled it liaison years ago. We're just making that correction. Item 2 is approval to revise the salary schedule.
Move for approval.
Second.
Those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carries.
Item C for the 389th District Court, discussion, consideration, approval of the following personnel action effective next full pay period. Simply to decrease the interpretive pay for slot 003 by 1,000 and by 2,500, and increase the interpretive pay on the assistant court coordinator by 2,500. It's simply a wash. We're increasing the interpretive pay for the assistant court coordinator and reducing it from the bailiff position.
Move for approval.
Second.
Those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carries.
Item 3 is approval to revise the salary schedule.
Move for approval.
Second.
Those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carries.
Item D for the Sheriff's Office, discussion, consideration, approval of the following personnel actions. This is simply to add clothing allowance to slot 0024 in the amount of $500.
Move for approval.
Second.
Those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carries.
And item 3 is approval to revise the salary schedule accordingly.
Move for approval.
Second.
Those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carries.
Judge, Commissioners, item E for the District Attorney's Office, I have Rosie Cantu here because we received this item very late on Friday, and we don't, the attachment should be attached to the packet already, but this involves, let me read the item, the District Attorney's Office, the Criminal DA, Fund 1100, Fund 1222, Chapter 59, 1223, and Pretrial 1225. Item number 1 says approval of personnel actions listed on Exhibit A effective 2/22. Exhibit A involves this. It involves salary adjustments for 68 positions. These are attorneys. 98% of the adjustments are $1,000 or less.
That they are pay raises.
Yes, sir.
But
Yeah.
I think the issue was the money is not coming from the general fund,
It's not general fund money, it's all
kind
from
of grant
discretionary funds.
discretionary.
Yeah, and this has to do with reassignments from misdemeanor to felonies, assignments that the DA is making. And like I said, 98% or less than $1,000 or less on those 68 positions. It involves one title correction. It involves the creation of two assistant DA, the creation of two administrative assistants, the deletion of one assistant district attorney 3, the creation of one assistant district attorney 4, the supplemental pay to one ADA, and auto allowance for 3 people. There's about 80 transactions in the attachment. There's no general fund money involved.
Move for approval.
Second.
Those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carries.
Item 2 is approval of the transfers and appropriations.
Move for approval.
Second.
Those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carries.
The appropriations were not attached, nor were the PAR funds.
Okay, the auditor had a concern, and if you don't mind, Judge Commissioners, we can make that approval subject to the receipt of the PARs and the appropriations.
All appropriate documentation.
Subject to.
Yes. Item 3 is approval to revise the salary schedule accordingly.
Move for approval.
Second.
Those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carries.
That's all we have. Thank you, Judge Commissioners.
Thank you. Item 12, our Health Department.
Good morning, Judge, Commissioners. Item 12A, sir, discussion and action for the notice that Dr. Ivan Melendez, Hidalgo County Health Authority physician, will be on leave of absence for approximately 6 weeks, tentatively scheduled starting March 1st. As part of his contract, it states that he is responsible to compensate and cover for, find coverage for the responsibilities and requirements for that position. So this is in regards to his contract that I have to bring notice to the court.
Everything's in order.
Yes, sir.
Move for approval.
Second.
Those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carries.
Item B is requesting approval of the interlocal cooperation agreement between the City of McAllen, Hidalgo County, in connection with holding a joint event with the South Texas Hurricane Conference and the South Texas Ebola Infectious Disease Conference for personnel who respond and provide services in case of emergencies involving hurricanes and other potential public calamities, and further describing the background and detailed in the interlocal agreement attached herein.
Move for approval.
Second.
Those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carries.
Thank you, sir. Item C is requesting approval to accept the Radiological Workshop Award from the Texas Department of State Health Services for the period of April 1st, 2016 through June 15th, 2016, in the amount of $10,000.
So moved.
Second.
Those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carries.
Item 2 is requesting approval of certification of revenue in the amount of $10,000.
Move for approval.
Second.
Those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carries.
And item 3 is requesting approval of the budget of appropriations.
Move for approval.
Second.
Those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carries.
This is a very unique situation, sir, where there's only 2 other locations in Texas that have been approved to do these radiological workshops, one in Amarillo and one in El Paso, and we've been designated as the 3rd area, so it's a great honor for us, sir. Item D is Healthcare Funding District discussion action, including but not limited to Healthcare Funding District and or expenditures. There's no action unless there's any questions. Item E, Indigent Healthcare discussion action, including but not limited to Indigent Healthcare Program 1115 waiver and or expenditures. There is no action unless you have any questions. Thank you, sir. Have a good day.
Thank you.
Item 13.
Good morning, Judge, Commissioners Jaime Longoria with the Community Service Agency. Item 13A is discussion and possible action to adopt the district map of Hidalgo County, thus designated District 1, District 2, and District 3 for the purposes of low-income representatives to the Community Advisory Board. Commissioners, Judge, what I have in front of you is we do have a map of Hidalgo County. It was a map that was put together with the help of the Elections Office. I had Ms. Brenda Renteria, Michael Sosa, Joshua Martinez, and of course Ms. Yvonne Ramon. They helped us divide up the county in 3 districts that are similar in populations. And what I need, the CSBG Act that governs the Community Service Agency requires that we have democratically elected officials of the low-income sector. So we've divided Hidalgo County into 3 districts. We do have a 9-member tripartite board, so we're required to have three districts for purposes of that. That's as a requirement of our bylaws that were voted on previously by this commission in January.
Move for approval.
Second.
Those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carries.
Thank you, Judge. Thank you, Commissioners.
Thank you, sir. Item 14, our IT department.
Good morning, Judge Commissioners. Quick action here. Item 14A, these are equipment changes, equipment upgrades for the Emergency Management Department. Ask for authorization to approve upgrade of wireless equipment and activations in the grid provided below.
Motion
Seeking approval.
Second.
Those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carries.
Item 14B, these are new activations. This is for the GPS program that's run by the Executive Office as listed on the grid.
So moved.
Second.
Those in favor, say aye. Aye, motion carries.
Thank you.
Thank you. Item 15, Urban County.
Diana.
Good morning, Judge Commissioners.
Morning.
We have one item on the agenda today, and it is for the City of Benitez, and it is subject to compliance with House Bill 1295 and when and if applicable. The Urban County Program, on behalf of the City of Benitez, is requesting approval of a best and final negotiated contract for professional engineering services with South Texas Infrastructure Group in the amount of $36,147 for a Benitez street improvement project.
Move for approval.
Second.
Those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carries.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Judge, Commissioners, item 16 under the Elections Administration, there is nothing to discuss, but just so that we may announce on the part of this Ramon's office, early voting has begun. And so we're inviting all of our residents to go out and early vote. If there are any questions, they can call area code 956-318-2570 with any questions. And again, early vote has begun, and it will run through February 26th.
Seems like you got the new job.
Yes. Yes, actually, we do have it. This is one of our early voting sites. They're outside for anyone in the audience that has not voted. They can vote. Okay. Item 17 for the Public Defender's Office. Judge, Commissioners, I'm asking discussion, consideration, approval to appoint Odalis Garcia and Isaac D. Bahena, who are UTRGV students as volunteer public defender interns for a period to commence February 22nd of this year and run through August 30th of this year.
Move for approval.
Second.
Those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carries.
Then we have TJ from our Planning Department, Director.
Item 18.
Good morning, Judge Commissioners. TJ Arredondo for the record. This is discussion and possible action to execute LPA Standard Utility Agreement for La Homa Road with Texas Gas Service, a division of Gas, Inc.
Move for approval.
Second.
Those in favor, say aye.
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 Aye, motion carries.
Thank you.
Item 19, Precinct 1.
Judge, Commissioners, under item 19, we're asking authorization approval of a name change as proposed by the Lower Rio Grande Valley Development Council for 911.
Move for approval.
Second.
Those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carries.
The second action item is a resolution in support of a proposed development at the northwest corner of Mile 6, West Road and Flea Market Road, named Palmera Heights Apartments.
Move for approval.
Second.
Those in favor, say aye.
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 Aye, motion carries. Item 20, Precinct 2.
Good morning, Judge and Commissioners. Item 1, approval of the following road projects in the city of San Juan through a previously approved interlocal agreement that was approved on February 3rd, 2016. And I'll list them all off. It's A, San Antonio Road Project, B, Cesar Chavez Road Project, C, Sam Houston Road Project, and D, Sergeant Trevino Road Project.
Move for approval in A to D.
Second.
Those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carries.
Item A2, in accordance with Section 791.014 of the Texas Government Code, requesting approval of the interlocal cooperation agreement projects.
Move for approval.
Second. Those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carries.
Thank you.
Judge, Commissioners.
Yes.
And I do apologize, I should have put this on the record earlier, or when we took the action item, but the LRG VDC 911 proposed change that was acted on, for the record, it's from Sylvia Road to Novias Road.
Novias or Novios?
No, I'm sorry, you're correct, Novios. Novios Road.
And what's the name?
I'm sorry.
What's the name of the road?
What's the new name?
It's from Sylvia Road to be renamed Novios Road.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I apologize.
Novio means a young bull, but neutered.
All right, item 21, precinct 3.
Judge, good morning, Commissioners. Item 21A, requesting approval to accept contribution from La Joya ISD in the amount of $27,009 for road repair to Western Road.
Move to approve.
Second.
Those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carries.
And Judge, this is a road that was damaged by the school district, and they went on ahead and donated that money for Precinct 3. And this is where Commissioner Joe Flores does the good work, especially on those roads that need to be repaired.
Bingo, we're out.
So,
come on, Bingo.
I'm right, amigo.
So, no, that's indicating that Commissioner Joe Flores is doing his job on Precinct 3.
As Valde would say, it is
Are
what
we
it
all
is.
listening here? This money comes from the school district, not from Precinct 3. Item B, approval of closing documents for the purchase of real property from Tresas Enterprise, Inc., and authorize county judge to execute same for Los Ojitos de Reynosa and IRR TRW 1268.06, lot 377, 75 acres net. And this, Judge, is a piece of land that is bought for the expressway to, it's going to be like a drainage so the water can go in there and accumulate. So,
Those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carries.
if you have any questions, we have LNG here on this project.
Thank you, Mr. Adet.
Thank you, Judge. Thank you, Commissioners.
Item 22, precinct 4.
Morning, Judge, Commissioners. Joe Ochoa for Precinct 4. Requesting approval of appropriation of funds for Precinct 4 in the amount of $37,007.58.
Move for approval.
Second.
Those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carries.
Thank you.
Thank you. Item 23, budget.
Morning, Judge, Commissioners. Sergio Cruz, Department of Budget Management. Item 23A, discussion, consideration, and approval to submit the Texas Vine reimbursement maintenance invoice in the amount of $6,928.83 for the second quarter payment, and the Texas Statewide Automated Victims Notification Service county verification of continuing production record with authority for the county judge to sign the required documents.
Move for approval.
Second.
Those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carries.
Item 23B is discussion, consideration, and approval to set the indirect cost allocation rate to 7.36% for the grant fiscal year 2016, effective 10/1/2015 through 9/30/2016, for the fiscal year 16 WIC program.
Move for approval.
Second.
Those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carries.
Item 23C is approval of correction to slot G027 Health Clinics, Department 340, Program 003, as previously approved in Exhibit A on February 3rd, 2016. This is a correction of the correct salary to include the 3% cost of living adjustment, for it to be $44,007.
Move for approval.
Second.
Those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carries.
Item C2 is approval to revise the salary schedule in accordance with Commissioners Court action.
Those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carries.
Item 23D1 is approval of 2015 appropriation of funds in the amount of $70,008.50.
Second.
Those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carries.
And D2 is approval of 2016 appropriation of funds in the amount of $70,008.50.
Second.
Those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carries.
Thank you, Judge Commissioners.
Item 10, A,
24,
24, yes, ma'am.
Purchasing Department, Martha Salazar. Going 24A, this is Fire Marshal's office. Actually, it's Hidalgo County. But this is acceptance and approval of an award of bid solicited through sealed quotes, received and detailed in the attachment, to the vendor submitting the lowest and best quote, including the approval of the contract for the vetting services, and this will be countywide. It commenced with the Fire Marshal's office. It is fully compliant, I'm happy to say, with the 1295.
So moved.
That is filed.
Those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carries.
Item 2 is pursuant to Article 1.4 of the current lease agreement between Hidalgo County and Jack McClellan, contract number 276, approval to send the 60-day written notice of termination for the building housing the Department of Human Resources, with official date of correspondence to be determined by Mr. Valdeguerra, Executive Officer. He can tell me what day he wants that officially issued after you approve.
Oh, yes.
So moved.
Second.
Those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carries.
And
Item-
Ms. Marty, for the record, commencing starting today.
Okay, that's the way we'll
And
calendar it.
And I'm sorry, Judge Commissioners, as I've been advising your respective offices, this is part of the overall of looking at areas and making room within county offices to house all county services.
Going on to item 3, this is approval of the First Amendment to Service contract, which is for Hidalgo County, between Hidalgo County and CTC Distributing for the off-premises record storage, pickup, retrieval, and delivery services. This is to include the Human Resource Department for the purposes of the same services. And that is 1295 compliant.
So moved.
Second.
Those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carries.
Item 4 is requesting approval to declare the items listed in Exhibit A here as surplus for the purposes of sale through auction, which is scheduled for March the 9th in accordance with 263-152A1. And in the event no bids received, we would go on to item B. So can we please do A first?
So moved.
Those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carries.
B is pursuant to Texas Local Government Code 263-151 L, pardon me, and or 263-152A3. Commissioners Court proceed to order any of the property to be destroyed or otherwise disposed of as worthless, inasmuch as the sale was attempted and it was undertaken to sell and no bids were received.
So moved.
Second.
Those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carries.
And there's actually a C, which is in the middle of B's, the fifth line, requesting authority to publish advertising for the auction of surplus equipment and vehicles scheduled for March the 9th, including but not limited to seized, abandoned, and unclaimed property or additional and necessary auctions.
So moved.
Those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carries.
Item 5, approval to exercise the option to renew or extend for 1 year the agreement with Anridge Incorporated, DBA A Clean Portico, under the same terms, conditions for the lease of said portable toilets, and that is 1295 compliant.
Second.
Those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carries.
Under the Executive Office for the Safety Division, approval to purchase one new 2016 Ford F-150 to the county's buy boards awarded contractor Caldwell Chevrolet, $24,358.
Those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carries.
Precinct 1, approval to, of work authorization 6 submitted by Millennium Engineers Group for the provision of construction materials testing services in connection with mile 12.5 road project in the amount of $2,394.75.
Move for approval.
Second.
Those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carries.
Item D1, Precinct 2, acceptance and approval of the construction contract documents for Hidalgo County Precinct 2 Eldora Road improvements from I Road to Raul Longoria, approved on 1/19/16 with 2GS LLC, DBA Earthworks Enterprises LLC in the amount of $279,192.75 for contract number 061, and it is 1295 compliant.
Move for approval.
Second.
Those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carries.
Item 2 is presentation of the bids received from vendors submitting the lowest and best price as detailed in the tabulation sheet contained for the purpose of approving multiple awards and contracts for the request for bids, and that's for hauling of dirt. We had 21 packets out, 2 bids received, Royce Hauling and Southern Star Transport. We recommend approval.
Move for approval.
And they're both compliant
Those
with
in favor?
1295.
Those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carries.
Item 3, acceptance and reapproval of the revised final AIA 2007 B101 and A201 forms of agreement with the Warren Group Architects Incorporated in connection with the design and construction of a county-wide service shop. That is also 1295 compliant.
Those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carries.
Item 4, approval of the First Amendment to contract between Hidalgo County and IOC Company to clarify the completion date subject to a purchase order issued and not contract date. And that's 1295 compliant.
Those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carries.
B is approval of certificate of construction completion as submitted by IOC Company LLC, reflecting the date of November 25th, 2015.
Move for approval.
Second.
Those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carries.
E1, Precinct 3, requesting approval of a professional engineering services agreement with LNG Consulting Engineers, DBA LNG Engineering, for the purpose of on-call geotechnical and construction materials testing services for projects located within Precinct 3.
Move for approval.
Those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carries.
The commencement of that contract is today. Item 2, acceptance and approval of a professional services agreement with Hinojosa Engineering for the purpose of job-specific project surveying services for the Penitas landfill, and that's contract term for 1 year commencing 2/16 to 2/15/17. I would say that there is one insurance that is still lacking, and I would do it subject to compliance with the insurance requirements.
That's my motion.
Second.
Those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carries.
F for Precinct 4. This is acceptance and approval of a professional engineering agreement with LNG and Consulting Engineers, DBA LNG Engineering, job-specific Mile 5 from Taylor Road to FM 2220, which is Ware Road for in Hidalgo County Precinct 4, and it is subject to compliance with the 1295 and any other issues.
Second.
Those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carries.
B, pursuant to Article 14 of the Professional Engineering Services Agreement, LNG is requesting the approval to engage the services of subcontractor Amatera Environmental Incorporated with adherence to insurance provisions required by said article.
Move for approval.
Those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carries.
C, acceptance and approval of work authorization 1 with an estimated cost of $671,870 as submitted by project engineer LNG for job-specific Mile 5 from Taylor Road to FM 2220, which is Ware Road.
Move for approval.
Second.
Those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carries.
Item 2, this is requesting approval of an agreement between Hidalgo County and AT&T with acceptance of the document as is without any changes. This was reviewed by your Assistant District Attorney's Office. It is a pro forma form of agreement. They are requesting that the court proceed, if it wishes, with executing that document as is. As AT&T has indicated, they will not make any of the recommended changes. And this is to provide internet circuit and related services to the Lynn San Manuel Emergency Services Facility, including the issuance of a PO, and it's subject to HB 1295 compliance. We have sent them the appropriate letter. We're due to accept that sometime today. That would be subject to that, and it's for a term of 24 months.
So move.
Second.
Those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carries.
Item 3 is ratification of issuance of PO number 738-354 for for $120,777.10. Southern Tire Mart awarded a vendor through TASB's buy board contract 470-14 for tires necessary to avoid a work stoppage, including the awarded tires and/or accessories, parts, appurtenances, mounting, and balancing services.
Those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries.
G1, Health and Human Services, approval of purchase all repair and replacement components and satellite service from Brown Control for the purposes of restoring satellite service to the county's emergency response trailer through competitive quotes, requisition 291-654 in the amount of $5,521 for parts, labor, freight, and $14,004 for satellite service at $389 a month for a total of $19,525, with company's response as acceptance of a purchase order and not an executed agreement. We are still going to recommend the execution of the agreement. They have been advised about the compliance with 1295, so it is subject to that.
Move for approval.
Second.
Those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries.
And the other one is requesting authority to enter into a 36-month satellite service agreement with Ground Control commencing upon Commissioner's Court approval, immediately following service restoration to be billed as I noted in the previous item.
Move for approval.
Second.
Those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries.
WIC, presentation of the sole vendor Khalifa Western Wear, submitting the sole and best bid and meeting all specifications and/or requirements. And this is for the purpose of award and approval of contract as a request for bid titled WIC Program Lease of Office Space, McAllen Clinic, with compliance to all 1295 and any other.
Approval.
Second.
Those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries.
Facilities management, this is I-1, acceptance of approval of work authorization 2 with the estimated proposal of $43,430 as submitted by Half Associates for the purposes of electrical engineering for service facility remodel for Hidalgo County Planning Offices on 25th Avenue through the on-call agreement titled Building Repairs, Renovations, Alterations, etc. We recommend approval.
Second.
Those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries.
J, Colonia Access Program Precinct 3, acceptance and approval of the following CAP, Havana Lomas number 4 between Hidalgo County and MJ Construction as submitted through project engineer Javier Hinojosa Engineering.
So, second.
Those in favor say aye.
1.
Aye. Motion carries.
1 is final contract, construction contract in the amount of $176,801.
Move for approval.
Second.
Those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries.
2 is pursuant to Texas Local Government Code 262-031 and in the interest of expediting the project's progress, requesting authority and approval of precinct or designee. Commissioner, that would be Mona, or who will you have, or Norma? Is it Norma Ceballos for you? It's Norma? Norma Ceballos. To execute change orders that involve an increase or decrease in cost of $50,000 or less, the original contract price may not be increased by 18% or more without the consent of the contractor.
Move for approval.
Second.
Those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries.
B is acceptance and approval of the following CAP Havana Lomas number 5 between Hidalgo County and 2GS LLC as submitted to the project engineer Javier Hinojosa 1. Final construction contract in the amount of $78,125.50.
Move for approval.
Second.
Those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries.
And 2 is pursuant to 262-031, and in the interest to expedite the project's progress, we are authorizing Commissioner's designee Norma Ceballos to execute change orders.
Move for approval.
Second.
Those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries.
Item K for the District Attorney's Office. 1, requesting exemption from competitive bidding requirements under Texas Local Government Code 262-024A7, an item that can be obtained from only one source.
Move for approval.
Second.
Those in favor say aye. Aye. Motion carries.
B is approval of the sole source declaration for West Publishing and subscriber Thomson Reuters for the purposes of purchase of books, Print Pro View eBooks programs for Hidalgo County District Attorney's Office in connection with Agreement Number 084. subject to House Bill 1295 compliance for a period of 24 months.
Move for approval.
Second.
Those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carries.
That's all I have. Thank you.
Pursuant to 551-071 and 072 and 074, need a motion to proceed to executive session.
Second.
Those in favor say aye. Aye. Aye, motion carries. Mr. Guerra, item 27.
Thank you, Judge. Commissioners, let me just get to item 27 here. Item 27, open session A, no action. Judge, Commissioners, I do apologize. There was one last item we needed to go over under real estate acquisition appropriation for same. So,
We gotta go back?
So Steve, under
You can go back to
28,
item
under
20, item A,
we're going to go back
28.
to closed session. It'll take
20 seconds.
Yes. It is related.
All right, at this time, we are back in open session.
Thank you, Judge, Commissioners. And again, I truly do apologize for that. Under item 27A, real estate acquisition appropriation for same, I will proceed as directed. Item 27D, pending and or potential litigation, there is no action to be taken. Item 27C, deliberation. Let me skip C, and I'll get to it in a second. 27D, C-497615D, Disability Rights Texas versus J.E. Eddie Guerin as official capacity as the sheriff of Hidalgo County. Judge, Commissioners, I would ask to entertain a motion to direct Ms. Josephine Ramirez's office to pursue in settlement of the case.
Move for approval.
Second. Those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carries.
Item E, F, and G are related request and action. I believe that under open session, there is no action to be taken under item E, F, and G, but we still have pending items under the regular agenda that address these three, which would be Project Villa Verde, Project Starlight, and Project Palmena Heights. So we'll get to those in a second. Going back to item 27C, deliberation of appointment and employment duties of Hidalgo County Fire Marshal. There's no action to be taken under open session. We do have another item under the regular agenda. So I'll ask the court to go back to item Item 10A, appointment of Hidalgo County Fire Marshal. Judge, Commissioners, I would like to recommend for the court's consideration and appointment Mr. Tirso Garza, subject to final verification of some paperwork.
Tirso.
Tirso Garza.
So moved.
Spell it.
Second.
Spell it.
Tirso. Tirso Garza. Again, subject to final verification.
Right, and you're going to make a specific offer of employment.
Yes, but again, it would be subject to that final verification of some paperwork.
All right, those in favor indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carries.
Okay, and then going on to back, then we have a little cleanup work. Item 10D, E, and F are all related. Michael? So item 10D, resolution of Commissioners Court of Hidalgo County to support the proposed affordable housing project to be known as Villa Verde.
Right, 19D was already approved for the project of Palmena Heights.
Right, so there would be no action under 10F.
Right, so D, the question for the court is if you want to approve the resolution as presented, or if you want to, approve it, similar to what you did with Palmena Heights.
And I would,
You want to just do it the same as the Palmena Heights? Move for approval.
Second.
so for item 10D,
With no financial, Steve?
With no financial
For any of it.
commitment. or
With no
any
financial.
commitments.
okay,
But
so
they're all three are going to be given a general letter of support.
for the proposed affordable housing project, so the first action item, so we can take them individually, is Villa Verde.
So move.
Second.
Those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carries.
I'm sorry, you represent, which,
I represent Starlight.
Starlight, oh, which is the next one?
He had asked earlier when the item came up if he could say some comments, as he was saving them for later.
Go ahead, sir.
So, I'm assuming that I'm probably interpreting correctly based on the no financial consideration for item D. I wanted to just express a couple of points on that. I'm not sure that it's fully understood, and if it is, forgive me for being redundant. The financial consideration is a very important point from a scoring standpoint for these. It's a very, very competitive application process. We're not competing with just projects in Hidalgo County or in McAllen or Edinburgh for that matter. We're with the entire region, which is many counties surrounding Hidalgo County. 1 point, so that the financial consideration gives us 1 point if we can get anything as simple as a waiver of an application fee for a plat. I mean, it can be a $1 consideration for that matter. That 1 point that comes with that can literally make or break an application or a project being completed. I just want to make sure that that's fully understood, because I hate to see Hidalgo County lose quality affordable housing and the tax base to surrounding counties that are potentially giving those financial considerations, therefore giving the applicant the 1 point and making them more competitive. So I hope that that's understood. I just wanted to afford you guys the opportunity to know that, hopefully that can be considered, and hopefully, for at least for Starlight, we can consider some sort of financial consideration so we can remain competitive with the rest of the region and hopefully bring the quality senior affordable housing. And again, I just remind you, and I'm happy to read this paragraph from the Qualified Allocation Plan, which is the state's plan for the issuance of the tax credits, the specific language that says that, the financial consideration can be in the form of waiver of fees, a number of different things, and it doesn't specify an amount, so it could be a $30 plat application fee that could be waived. So that's happy to answer any questions to expand on that, but I just wanted to make sure that that was fully understood before Starlight was voted in the Senate.
Are you getting any help, financial help from the cities?
We're asking, but I don't know if we're going to get it. We don't go before council until the 23rd.
Can we hear, not that I don't believe you, can we hear from the other developer just to confirm?
Sure.
Because I'd hate for y'all to lose points for something as minor as that.
Maybe we can put a cap or something, or maybe more.
You said $1.
Yeah, he's correct about that. It can be in any form. It can be, like a fee waiver or something. $10 is all it is. I mean, it used to be $1 million, and now it's dropped back down to 10. You get 1 point for it. You used to get 10 points for it. And it's a 1 point item, and it could make or break a deal.
What's our application fee, TJ?
It depends on acreage, Judge, but it could run anywhere from 500,000, depending on the size of the property.
Why don't we do $10 like you do for consideration, just to have consideration?
Would that do it? Would that kick in?
Yes, sir.
The point?
Yes, sir.
We could set a
We
policy
do it for all of them,
not to exceed $10 for future
Okay.
applications.
We'll do it for all of them, not just.
Yes.
Yeah, for all of them.
Okay. Thanks, sir.
Yeah.
$10. Can we legally do it? See, that's
Well, the only concern I have is I think we have rules and that TJ would know, and I don't know that we've ever waived any type of fees before. And that was a question I had for TJ.
We waive fees for public entities, federal government, precincts on certain items,
But not for any private entity.
not for private, no, not to my knowledge.
This is $10. Would this be a waiver, or would this be an actual contribution?
Well, I don't think you have the authority to make a contribution. That was what we discussed in closed session. The only thing you could do is a waiver, but then if your rules have never permitted waivers other than to public entities, I think you'd have to look at your rules again.
I think you can see that we're sensitive to the needs of our area. We're trying to make sure we give you every advantage so that you can hopefully land the project that will provide us with more affordable housing. But legally, it doesn't seem like, according to our lawyer, that we can get there.
But I'd like to see if we can to move forward with the $10 subject to legal, if possible. I mean, unless you've looked at it.
Well, that's why I was asking TJ, is what are his rules prescribe?
They're court-adopted fees. They've been adopted by Commissioner's Court, so if the court adopted these fees, I'll defer to you. Maybe they do.
Well, if they're still in place, what we have to do is come back our next meeting and amend the rules.
One of the three applications is a nonprofit. Does that make a difference?
Again, we've waived fees for public entities, nonprofits, not to my knowledge,
But I'd hate to give them an advantage.
Can you look at that, Steve?
Well,
Subject
if
to-
TJ can give us the rules, we can look at the rules and. see
Well,
if there's
no, I'd
some way
like to
do
get
it.
your legal opinion. I mean, I don't want to put that burden on TJ.
No, I'm saying if TJ can get me a copy of the rules, and if we can amend the rules at your next Commissioners Court meeting and defer action on these items to
Can
your
we
next
approve
Commissioners Court.
something, Steve?
But I think they have a March 1st deadline.
If
Are
they
we
don't
gonna
have to
meet
come back,
before
they
then?
won't come back?
I don't know. Oh, we're going to meet on March 1st.
Yes, we are meeting March 1st.
Our,
I'm not
so
gonna say what Joe said.
our deadline for the applications is March 1st. We have to be in full application,
Let
March
me ask
1st.
this question. Could you go ahead right now and just go ahead and approve the letter of support? We can come back, then we can come back, and if we can do something on, a special meeting on or before March 1st.
Will that help?
Then
Yeah, if we have it before March 1st, it would certainly help. And let me see if this makes a difference. Have you read, has anybody shared with you the QAP the
Yes.
language? So you've seen that language?
Yes.
Okay, then I won't waste your time
The
on that.
concern is the rules.
Right. No, I understand, because
Steve,
that's,
what do we approve it, and then if they don't have to come back, we don't have to just.
Well, the problem is you can't, in order to do it, you're going to have to amend the rules that TJ has, which you're the ones who adopted the rules.
But like when we've waived them on the federal government and stuff, does it say there that federal government fees are waived? I think that we probably just did it.
TJ, do the rules
we bring up an individual, case by case. They haven't submitted a plat yet to us. They have to formally apply, and then we assess the fee, and then I guess we could bring it to court and say, you know what, this is the fee, and what does the court wish to do?
One more question. Do the rules expressly state that we can either do not charge or we waive fees to public entities?
The language is not in the rules, but they're court-adopted fees. They're not statutory. They're court-adopted fees. We've increased them over the years, so I would imagine the court has the authority to.
Right, but there's nothing in the rules right now that says the court can waive fees for public entities.
It's not written into the rules.
Why don't we amend the rules on March 1st and act on it on March 1st? To allow us that under special circumstances, we can provide for $10 contribution or $10 less in a fee in order to be able to obtain affordable housing for the county, or a language to that effect.
It'd be easier to do.
I would recommend not amending the rules or the fees schedule in the rules, and just bringing it on a case-by-case basis for court consideration if that's possible.
I need to see the rules.
Okay, then Judge, Commissioners, if I heard correctly, they have to have that application on the 1st. So I would, right, so if it helps, what we could do is, working with TJ to get a copy of those rules, work with Mr. Crane, is just not have court on the 1st, have court next week on the 23rd. And then, because we do have, if the court recalls, we do have, our schedule was for March 1st, and then the week after, we were going to have our joint meeting with the city of Edinburgh on the 8th.
March 8th.
So if it helps, then we can have court next week on the 23rd, not the 1st, and then we go back to our regular schedule, which is March 8th. And I think that gives Mr. Crane the opportunity to look at the rules and anything out there that may or may not affect this court's ability to waive. And again, it also goes with respect to the County of Hidalgo and Commissioners Court that's in support of this type of affordable housing.
Go ahead and do that, Valde. That's what I mean.
Yeah, it'll be fine.
That's good.
Yeah, we're going to go along with that.
Okay, then let's do this, Michael. Tuesday the 23rd. So we will have Commissioners Court Tuesday the 23rd. It'll be a week before the deadline for the submission. I'll work with, TJ and I have a meeting this afternoon, but we'll get you those rules, Mr. Crane. I'll swing by your office tomorrow morning. And then we'll go from there. And we'll send notice through Ms. Julia that we're having court on the 23rd.
Do we need to rescind any actions?
You could keep it with a commitment as is, with no financial commitment, approve those.
That's what I was thinking.
So move on, and then come back if you're able to, because if you're not, at least you have the resolutions of general support on record.
And if we're not able to, and it's better to keep the meeting March 1st.
Yeah.
I mean, whatever.
Then I
Haven't posted yet.
Then I will work with everybody, and we'll have this hammered out. before the end of the week.
So we need to approve the
10E. I think we just need action on 10E then.
10E, correct.
Yes.
move for
Motion
approval.
approved. Second.
Second.
Those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carries.
And those would need to have the same caveats as the prior one.
He was there
Right.
already, which is via Vesta.
The same as Palmetto Heights, no financial
Same.
commitment at this time. Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
See you on the
Judge,
23rd.
Commissioners, thank you, we appreciate it.
Yeah, good luck.
Working with the community.
What's up? What's next, Bobby?
I believe, Monica, if I'm not mistaken, that covers our entire agenda.
Need a motion to adjourn?
So move.
Second.
Those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carried. Thank you, gentlemen.